We're here in round one. We're going to play first. Some decks possibly want to draw first, but ooh, the spicy deck. And by deck, I mean hand. I guess the issue with this one is, well, I mean, we're going to keep it. But the issue with this hand is that we need an untapped land to play Sentinel into Drone, but I think we're going to risk it. My other option would be to play Looming Spire turn 2, and that lets me go Nettle Drone turn 3. But I think I just hope that I either draw a land this turn or next one. That's alright. We're going to play the Sentinel anyway. If we draw a land, it's fantastic for us. If we don't draw a land, it's still fine. We'll play the Spire. We're going to be a turn behind on Nettle Drone, but I think I'm just going to have to accept that. Ooh. Well, that is perfect. And now we even get to Looming Spire our Nettle Drone next turn, which is pretty absurd. Possibly even get to play Courier Griffin if we draw another untapped land. Interesting. To Drew Stalwart for full value. Ooh, this is actually kind of nice. So we get to go Spire, Drone, swing for 4. I mean, Looming Spire single-handedly responsible for us getting in 4 damage this turn, which really goes a long way to show you why Looming Spire is so fantastic. What? I think my opponent may have forgotten about First Strike. Otherwise, that block makes no sense. Nice Spring Druid, sure. Ooh, you know how much I love Vile Aggregate. Well, let us ping Aggregate, pump on tap, and swing with Sentinel. Because if he wants to double block, I'll certainly accept that. We'd take out the Druid, I think. Yeah, I actually like this more. This is an okay trade for us. This actually, I don't really care about Sentinel on this board. And keeping him off of the ramp of Druid, I think is actually pretty good for us. It does make our aggregate weaker, but keeping him off ramp, I mean, this keeps him off a 6-drop, right? Also doesn't let him double block Predator now when I hit land drops. I think it's fine. Him being off a 6-drop this turn too is potentially relevant, as well as being off fixing for a 4th color. I didn't have to make that trade, but I actually am pretty much okay with it. We traded our 1/4 for a 2/1 that ramps. It makes our aggregate 1 weaker, but it also gives us better attacks the follow-up turn. Colostria Healer is very irrelevant. Let's see if he uses the Fertile Thicket beyond just looking at the top 5. Yes. So my opponent wanted to put a forest on top of their deck, which means we probably did keep them off a 6-drop by killing that Druid, which is good. All right, let's remember to use our Nettle Drone here. Untap. Wouldn't mind a land. Well, Ask and ye shall receive. So let's do this. Gonna get in with the big guns. Chump blocking. That's fascinating. Ingesting the forest he put on top. Maybe that was my opponent's plan. That's a good plan. Play the Griffin. And pass. Possibly get sheer dropped here. I think I'm just going to accept that if it happens. Opponent is now still 2 lands away from Invoker. Hero of Gomafada. I still hate that name. I want to talk to the designer of the Gomafada name. It sounds like a cartoon character. Ah, it's Gomafada. Shadow Glider. All right, well, Aggregate cannot attack into Gomafada now. But that's no big deal. I mean, I could Rolling Thunder it. That's actually not bad either. But then I'd have to offer a trade with my Predator for an Invoker, which I don't love. I feel like I can just win from above. Why not just save the Rolling Thunder, right? Yeah, I think we're just going to attack with Courier Griffin. Play Shadow Glider. I'd rather just use Rolling Thunder on his face, or not show it if I don't have to. And now we're just going to ping him to death with Nettle Drone and give him death from above. We also have Blocker for his hero with Vile Aggregate, so we're just looking good. We also have Stasis Snare when we eventually find our second white. So I could have Rolling Thundered hero, swung with everything. He probably trades an Invoker for a Drone or a Predator. Probably Drone, and takes 6. So we would have been at 8. Had no hero. We would have had no Rolling Thunder. That might have been better for us. I'm playing it pretty conservatively because there's just, I feel like we have no reason to rush here. If I didn't have the answer for like everything in hand, I think this would be less good, but it's just good for now. There we go. So let's go ahead and get our landfall on. And can actually Stasis Snare the hero now. This makes it so we can't trade with our Predator. This forces, if I attack with the drone, he could still trade and he would live, so we're just going to swing like this. Actually, he wouldn't live. I could Rolling Thunder him. But I think we're going to win this regardless, so yeah. All right, so we're playing against Converge. Healer seems out of place. Invoker is actually good in a style of deck like this because you typically play a lot of lands. It's like good alongside Druid too. Stoward is, of course, staple of this deck, but didn't see anything beyond that. Our deck played fantastically. Drew exceptionally well and got most of our powerhouse cards. Not even most of our powerhouse cards. Most of our cheap powerhouse cards, of which we have plenty. So sideboard, we don't really have much. Volcanic Upheaval, which I've still yet to like sideboard into. Actually, I think I did once or twice, but it's never like come up. And I don't think it's worth it in a match like this, especially when your opponent has the Lifespring Druid to basically bypass using the lands. So I think we'll keep it the same. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay, we're in game 2. We're going to keep this. I think this hand is fine. We actually know that Boiling Earth deals with Lifespring Druid, which is kind of nice, but Double Predator I think is Certainly aggressive enough to keep this hand. Hey, Deathless Behemoth. I'd probably trade a Boiling Earth for a Lifespring Druid. I don't think that's out of the... Ooh. Might just trade it for a Beastcaller Savant. Did he remember it had haste? He did. Yeah, so if I have nothing else going on, I think we'll Boiling Earth. Yeah, this is actually a fine trade. This doesn't let him converge and fix and stuff. He could have a Lifespring Druid, but I'm not going to... I'd rather just deal with Ramper on turn 2, because my mana is going to be pretty busy the next couple turns here. He is off his 3rd color. He did have the Lifespring Druid, but that's okay. Hellkite, sure. Grove Tinder Druid. All right. He gets the value. Nettle Drone. Not bad. Still think we're going to play the... Although if I play the Nettle Drone, I can trade with a Druid. Kind of like that, actually. I mean, regardless, I'm playing the land here, so... Let's play land, we'll swing. Wouldn't mind if he traded either. It's a fine trade for us. Okay, he's going to take the 4. So if I play the Nettle Drone, I can block the Druid, which I think I would do. I think we're going to do that. Predator attacks better, but this gives us a blocking option, which I kind of like. Sylvan Scrying. All right. So he's going to get his white mana. And yes, I will trade a drone for a Druid if he offers it. Otherwise, I might trade a drone for a Druid. This Druid. All right, let's I guess if he's offering the trade, I'm a little less inclined to do it. Let's take 3 here. No play. Ooh. That is a spicy meatball. All right, let's go bridge. I'm not going to pump the drone. I don't want to offer it offensively. I only want to offer it defensively. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but it makes sense in my mind. And this actually puts him out of Gideon's reproach range, which I think is pretty spicy here. Now we're a land away from our powerhouse endgame, too, which is just really nice. Play the Predator and pass. And next turn we can leave up Encircling Fissure, which is pretty insane. No attacks. Well, that's pretty interesting. Let's not forget our Nettle Drone here. Untaps. Ooh, just beautiful. Really beautiful here. So we play this. Double pump. Certainly swing with the Predators. I don't even think I'm busting Encircling Fissure. I think we're just going to straight up drop the Hellkite. Drop the bomb. Wait, that's kind of weird, actually. Why didn't he pay for the Grove Tinder Druid? That doesn't make a ton of sense to me. Yeah, no reason to bust in Fissure, the Encircling Fissure here. I don't think. I see no reason to do that. Not when we can play big ol' Hellkite, Death from Above. Oh, Wait a second. Why did he bring in... Oh, yeah, we did have flyers. That's right. Okay. You got good value there. Now, wait. He left up Plummet instead of making a 1/1? That's pretty surprising. All right. Beastmaster, not really in trouble since we have Deathless Behemoth in hand. Could offer the trade with the Druid. Not sure if that's necessary, though. I think we'll just take it. Stasis Snare's good, but we're going to drop the Deathless Behemoth and pass. Was not anticipating the Plummet. I think that, well, the strangest part to me is my opponent left up Plummet instead of getting a token off McKindy Patrol, which to me is just, that's just really strange. Like, my opponent was setting up so he could go Plummet end of turn into Beastmaster, which he did do and was a good turn progression, but that was a pretty lofty, it did happen to work out, but my opponent didn't know about Akum Hellkite in my deck. So he was setting up to like take care of a Courier Griffin or a Shadow Glider. It's just strange. Multiple Grove Tender Druids. I've been there. It's pretty nice. I think we're going to chump block the Beastmaster if he attacks with the Predator, because Predator's not that relevant here anyway. Predators did their job, and I think being able to crack back with Behemoth with Stasis Snare and Circling Fissure in hand is just going to be bonkers. So he's buying himself a chump block here. He doesn't get to swing with anything else. He definitely should swing with the Beastmaster, yeah. So we'll block with the Predator. Like I said, Predator is less relevant here anyway. Sandbag the land. Guess we can. So we swing with Behemoth, see how he blocks. Probably use Stasis Snare, possibly use Encircling Fissure, depending on blocks. Could just chump block too. Yeah, this is... Now we get the potential for blowout play with Encircling Fissure, so we're just going to pass here. This area's pretty good. Surprisingly still works out well for us. Works out really well for us because Encircling Fissure is not a very fair card. Just get to Monch his board here. This is still fine. We're going to definitely use Encircling Fissure instead of Stasis Snare. See if he uses Fertile Thicket this time. He does not. He doesn't even look at the top 5 or anything. So I probably just want to use Stasis Snare on Emissary. Because yeah, I can set up for Rune Processor too, which is pretty amazing because of Stasis Snare. But we're going to have to play our land here. So I think what we do is play land, swing with the Deathless Behemoth, see how he blocks. Not sure if he's ready to try and trade just yet. Wouldn't mind if he was. No, he's still in chump block mode. So I think now we Stasis Snare before he gets Emissary value. Rune Processor next turn, +5 life, which seems like everything we're going to need, so pass. This might prompt a concession too. Oh. Or we just do that. All right. Wow. Deck performed amazing for us. Our opponent's deck was not bad at all either. I would argue pretty good. He had a nice converge strategy there. And wow, we really were never in some huge trouble. I think the closest to trouble we got into was the Hellkite getting plummeted into the Beastmaster. But wow, really impressed with how well our deck performed there. So really awesome. Let's see how we do in round 2.